Welcome to The Authentic Spiritual Journey, a weekly podcast featuring real and practical spiritual conversations from diverse perspectives here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. Today, episode 210, Pay It Forward. And now your host, Reverend Cynthia Alice Anderson.
Hello and welcome to The Authentic Spiritual Journey. My name is Cynthia Alice Anderson. I'm the host, and I'm here in my home studio today recording for you. And, we have summer schedules and everything, so I'm going to be recording on my own today, but it is no less special. As a matter of fact, I've got a great vibe going in here. My dog Chance is here managing and observing this morning, so he's going to let me know if I need to make any changes. But welcome, dear friends. It's always great to have you along on the journey. I know so many of you listen as you drive or as you're going about your day, and I love that, especially with today's topic. Today's topic is pay it forward. Pay it forward. And I love this topic because I love doing things for other people. And I have a dear friend who says, is it codependence or is it love? And I go, who cares? Sometimes doing good things is just good to do. And that's what today's about. Pay it forward. Pay it forward. So when I say that, what comes to mind? Pay it forward. Well, there was a movie, right, called Pay It Forward. But what I'm talking about is living this out. This is not an idea. This is a practice. This is not an idea. This is a practice. This is a way of living into the world. Pay it forward. It means I'm going to do good, and as I do good, what I know is going to happen is that good is going to continue. Pay it forward. In the Native American tradition, so I was taught a tradition called the giveaway. And the giveaway, I was taught this actually by a Cherokee woman whose grandmother was a carrier of the medicine bundle. And she grew up on the reservation and had a real working knowledge and awareness of beautiful, beautiful practices and traditions that are a way of life in the native world, or as most Indians like to be called, Indians, in Indian culture. So the tradition of the giveaway is the ancient version of Pay It Forward, which is a giveaway is when you have an item around your home or something that you own that you want to give away, but you don't give it away because you don't want it anymore, you don't like it anymore. You give it away because it's special to you. You give it away because as you give it, it has extra special meaning to the person because of your connection to it. And in the Indian tradition, of course, in this practice, no one owns anything. It's the culture, right? It's the whole community. It's the people. So if I give you something, I don't lose it. I gain awareness of it in your having it. So it's not like I lose anything by giving you something I love. And I'll give you an example that every time I have practiced the giveaway, I tell the story. I say, now, this is a native practice, and the only condition of the giveaway is that then you continue the practice. So it's an ancient pay it forward, that you have something of value, that when that thing of value, when you know it's supposed to go to someone else, you give it. So now, I want to pause here and say, for some of us, this could be an absolutely brand new practice, and you're like, you're out of your mind. What does this mean? Well, what we know and understand is that everything in our world, everything that surrounds us has a reality. It has a beingness. It has an energy. And so things in our world, like I'm sitting at my desk right now and there's a coffee cup I'm looking at right now. This coffee cup says on here, grow, prosper, evolve. What I know is that this coffee cup for me has an energy. Why does it? Well, those are the 3 words that are on my website. Those are the 3 kind of guideposts for my life. Those are the 3 things I keep in mind. And I had just gotten some mugs printed, and I loved them. And I was just literally holding one and saying how special it is. And then I had a friend come over to do something for me. And as much as I love that new mug, I knew it was already time to give it away. And I had another older design that I kept for myself. But what was so amazing is the person I gave it to was so thrilled to have it. She was like, "Oh my gosh, this means so much to me that you gave me this." And I said, "Well, I love that mug and I wanted you to have it." And so as she took it, I didn't feel anything less or that I was losing something. What I felt was a deeper connection to this individual. See, so the idea of paying it forward, or the ancient practice of the giveaway, it connects. It connects. And if you grew up in the States, when you give a gift, you say, "Well, I have to give this gift because, well, at my birthday, they gave me that gift. They gave me a gift, and I had to get something of similar quality or value." You know what I'm talking about. We've all had thoughts like that. But in the Native tradition, a giveaway is very, very different. Very different indeed. Because you're not giving away something because you have to. You're giving it away because the energy in the thing itself wants to go to this person. So it's a deeper awareness to live by, and it might be new to you. So just breathe for a moment. Breathe and know that everything around you is filled with energy. So now this may be causing you to pause and think, wait a minute, everything? Yes. Yes, dear friend, yes. This is an important awareness because things that we hold on to really do carry energy with them, especially we want to be mindful of things in our world, things that we're holding on to that are material, could hold energy from past relationships. They could hold reminders that create emotional toxicity within us every time we look at them. Now, what's important to remember, energy is that energy can be changed, energy can be released, but until that release work is done, that thing that is associated with a former person or maybe a situation that was negative in your world, then this energy may need your attention. This energy may need releasing, and the item itself may need to be released. So when you're thinking about the giveaway, as I'm talking about it, you don't want to give away things necessarily that have negative energy. You want to release those, take those to a thrift store, take those, because for the other person, they're not going to have that. But if you have a giveaway is something that has a great deal of meaning that you want to pass on. So this idea of paying it forward is paying forward goodness from your life. I love giving financially. I love giving good things. I love giving money away. I love giving clothing. I love giving things that have meant a great deal to me, but now it's time to move on, right? And again, as you move them out of your world, they're going to mean something more to you as the person receives it. Especially if the person you're giving to is aware of this and is a good receiver. Oh, it's so fun and it is so rewarding to give away to someone who has a great deal of appreciation for what you're giving, because they're going to be aware enough to then continue that tradition of giveaway. But the responsibility is, if you take on this a tradition that is, it is a Native American practice. that if you're going to take on the tradition, the whole tradition is explaining the giveaway. It's explaining why you're giving it to this person, and then telling them that the responsibility then is to continue that tradition. I know I mentioned that earlier, but what I've noticed people love to do is read about Native tradition, and they want to listen to certain types of music, but not deep in the practice. So this deeper practice is the giveaway. And then it's telling the story. The woman who taught me this said, the tradition is when I tell you the story, now you're the carrier of this story. And so now every time you give away, every time you practice the giveaway, you must tell the story. And then as that story keeps getting told, imagine how the world could change for the better. So the giveaway is not based on need. It's based on love. The idea of paying it forward is giving something to someone with no expectation of return. Paying it forward is, I'm going to give you this gift. I'm going to give you this love. I'm going to give you this thing. I'm going to give you this cash, knowing it's going to do good. How do I know it's going to do good? Because I've given you good and positive energy with intention, with love, with generosity. And friends, that is felt. When we give the podcast, the fact that we're getting up super early on a Monday morning to be able to give you this gift, I know it's reflected in what you feel as you listen. I know because people tell me. This podcast is a gift we give. Yes, we receive donations. But when we first started, when we were receiving no donations, we still gave, paying it forward. What I've learned in giving is that it makes me feel worthy. You're able to give of yourself when you believe that you are worthy. And the more I give, the more worthy I feel. Worthy just as a human, and even worthy to receive. So it's a process to learning to live with this level of generosity, because there is an aspect of trust, right? There is an aspect of trust. So think about, are you being called right now to pay it forward? And if so, how? And of course, I believe everybody's called. So the short answer is yes, you're being called to pay it forward. It's a resounding yes. Paying it forward is a gift to your mind and your soul. Because of the trust, it helps you believe that there is enough. Anytime you give with faith and trust, anytime you give with faith and trust, I'm saying it twice on purpose, I'm going to say it 3 times. Anytime you give with faith and trust, it is saying to the universe, I know more is available to me. That's not why you give. You give because you're guided to give. You give because it's the right thing to do. But what I know from my practice of giving is every time I give, it helps me trust even more in the flow of the universe. It's one thing to say, God loves me. It's another thing to say, the universe supports me. But this activity of giving, this activity of paying it forward, activates your trust in a deeper way, in a much more expansive way. So it's not about a trust in financial, it's about a trust in your whole life. It's about trusting emotionally, spiritually, financially, even physically, that you're going to be supported. That literally, friends, the whole universe supports you. I want you to consider this, though, and think, How do you activate that? By paying it forward. Because most people say, well, I don't know how to trust. I don't have faith. Well, that's because you're not stepping out. Paying it forward will help you step out on faith. And of course, in the spiritual work, how you know something is yours to do is you're scared to do it. That's how you know. You know it's yours to do because you're scared to do it. So how the ego works is anytime you start to get close to, to your, the edges of your comfort zone, all this fear comes up. Well, usually what happens when we're on the journey, when we feel this fear, we go, oh, I must not be supposed to do that. I'm sorry. That's my Southern isms. I must not be supposed to. I shouldn't do that is what we say to ourselves. We say, oh, I'm afraid. Oh, let's close back up. Let's forget that idea. When spiritually, when we are guided to do something and the fear comes up, that's when we push through the fear and engage in that positive activity anyway. And of course, I'm only meaning to push through the fear when it's good and safe and holy for you and everyone concerned. I don't mean push through the fear and jump off a cliff with no netting. I mean, you push through fear to do what you're to do to bring good into the world. Right? So paying it forward means I trust as I move forward, I have the support of the whole universe so that even if fear comes up, I'm going to do it anyway. And I want you to just think about just even in your work, just where you work. What if everyone where you worked paid it forward? Everybody did something for somebody else. Can you imagine the energy in the office? Can you imagine the energy of emails if everybody in your office just started paying it forward? Like doing little things. Somebody buys you lunch. Somebody else brings you a coffee. Somebody else says, oh, I got this. I grabbed you lunch because I saw you were working through lunch. Or, oh, hey, I just wanted to say if you ever need to talk, I'm here for you. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you left a little gift card on somebody's desk with like, hey, thanks for being a blessing in my life. Pay it forward. Hey, thanks for lifting me up the other week when I was having a tough day. Pay it forward. It's just basically, friends, gifts of kindness and generosity. But included in those gifts of kindness and generosity is a respect. There's a holiness. There's a goodness. And frankly, there's a peace that comes from it. So right where you are right now, I want you to think about what would happen if I just started paying it forward. And especially if you're in a managerial position, I can tell you that it means a great deal if you do something to pay it forward with your employees. I know if you're in management, sometimes you feel like you're a parent to all the people that you manage. I know this because I've worked with a lot of managers and corporate executives that say the people I work with, I feel like I'm their parent. And I say, well, quit acting like their parent. Quit acting like their parent. Be their boss, be their friend. They'll work for you forever. All right. Pay it forward. Be good to them. That'll start to shift. So think about if you're in the workplace right now, how could you begin to pay it forward, daily, weekly? Because what I'm talking about really is shifting the way you think about life. I'm talking about shifting into a life lived with generosity, with trust, with freedom. And with that, yes, comes trust, as I mentioned, but there becomes an ease in your giving. And you become less attached to the things around you. Because you realize you don't own anything. It's all God's anyway. Everything you have is from God. Everything is God. Everything belongs to God. You are here as a steward of what you have. Because friends, when it is time for us to take our leave from this world, and it's time for us to die, none of this goes with us. None of it. So paying it forward is going to bring you more into the flow of life, into the state of generosity, into really a state of trust, freedom, and ease. So we're going to talk more about paying it forward as we come back right after this brief message. Welcome back. We're glad you're with us. I hope you're actively thinking about how to pay it forward. I'm kind of sitting here imagining myself, some of you going out where you work, and it's kind of like a Secret Santa all year. I don't know if any of you have ever done that in the workplace, but I've gotten some amazing Secret Santa gifts over the years from employees from a great deal of churches, that I've worked in. And it's just fun, friends, to be generous. It's fun to be generous. Paying it forward is an activity of giving to the world. It's an activity of giving to wherever you may find yourself. And it does take on a variety of behaviors, given where you work, where you play, even your family situation. So paying it forward, we usually think of as a financial activity. And I would say, yes, I wanted to return back to this. It is a financial activity, but it is also greater than that and includes more than that. Because sometimes paying it forward will be a word of encouragement, right? Sometimes paying it forward will be a hug. It'll be an acknowledgement. But when you do that acknowledgement, when you do that hug, when you do that thank you, when you do that, that lifting up and encouraging with this intention of paying it forward, I believe that that's felt on an emotional level. I think it's felt on a spiritual level. And we don't want to require always, okay, I'm giving you this hug, so you give it away. So then you give a hug. I was saying about the giveaway, that's when you're giving a physical thing, right? That's when you're giving a physical thing that you tell the story of the giveaway. But in these other activities, of course, you give with no expectation of return. And that is the same in the giveaway as well, that you just give. But with the giveaway, I just want to reiterate, you do explain the tradition. But these other ideas of paying it forward, sometimes paying it forward could be a really large tip for your waitress or barista. Sometimes it could be getting a gift for the guy who always does your lawn or the people who pick up your garbage every week. When I had my last home, it just so happened that when the guys came to pick up the garbage, I was usually home. And so I ended up creating and developing a relationship with them. One time I put a big bag on the top of the garbage and I wrote on it, "This is for you guys." And in there was some water and some sodas. I'd had a work party at my house and I had a bunch of sodas and stuff. And I thought, those guys work so hard. I bet they could use a glass of tea or a soda and some water on the road. And those guys were so appreciative of that little gift that you can't believe the trash they helped me with over the years at that house. One time I had to get rid of a mattress. They're like, "Oh, we got it. And I was like, "Oh, that's okay. I can get a truck." And they were like, No. You are so kind to us. We want to help. So what I've discovered, the reason I'm sharing that, friend, is what I discovered in paying it forward is that it brings a great deal of goodness into my life as well, even though that was never an expectation in the giving. Paying it forward is a bit like a tithe in that you don't expect anything in return. It's simply a thank you. It's simply a yes, I see you. Yes, I support you. Yes, I acknowledge you. Yes, I'm grateful you're in my life. So I want to pay it forward. I want to honor you with this gift. Pay it forward. Pay it forward. So we talked a little bit last half, about giving at work. And I wonder if you've considered it too, and how you might pay it forward with your family and those you are closest with. In what ways could you pay it forward with your family? In what ways could you give to them in a way that's expecting nothing in return? One way, of course, is cooking them a great meal. Another way is doing their laundry. Another way is listening. Just listening. This is such a gift. I've learned recently that been working with a number of individuals on listening, and we've been working on it in our spiritual community, that we discovered that most of us listen at 50 or 75%, and few of us listen at 100%. Think about that. Can you imagine, just with the people you loved, you just started listening as a way of paying it forward? It's going to require you to put down your phone, turn off the TV, put down the iPad, the various screens you're looking at, and listen. Give the gift of listening. What a beautiful way to pay it forward. It's like you're paying it forward with your attention, your attention, I should say, your intention, of being present, and your love. Because to listen 100% is absolutely giving your heart and giving your love. I have dear friends I've had for 25 and 30 years, and the gift we give each other is being 100% present when we're on the phone. We're not doing various activities as we're talking. We stop, we listen. It's a way to acknowledge, to support, and certainly to give, because you're giving of your time, your intention, your attention, and your energy, right? Your love. So think about that. So we talked about our business. How can I pay it forward in my business? How could I pay it forward in my family? One of the ways I love to give in my own family is I love to give unexpected gifts or go out to a fancy dinner unexpectedly. I think that's great fun. It feels extravagant. It feels honoring of the other person to give them a nice unexpected gift. Sometimes when I go get a coffee, like I love getting my son an unexpected gluten-free muffin or something fun like that. It's a little thing, but it means and says, I thought about you. Paying it forward is so much fun. It brings me a lot of joy. So I'm just riffing on how much I love it, right? It's just fun. In my extended family, with my siblings and cousins and stuff, one of the things we all love to do is give each other clothes. I love to give clothes as a way to pay it forward. And it was funny because recently a woman at my new church has brought me a couple things. It just made my whole day. And she was like, well, that's brand new. I've never even worn it. You can have it. I said, oh, I love that. Great way to pay it forward. In other words, I see you. I see you. Right? Anytime we pay it forward, it's like we're acknowledging the goodness in the other person. We're acknowledging their holiness. And as my former mentor said, she would say, and she's passed away now, she would say, I acknowledge your thou-ness, right? In other words, I see your holy nature. I acknowledge it. This gift is to lift it up. This gift is to say, thank you for being you. This gift is to say, thank you for being in my life. I'm going to pay it forward. I just want to thank you. So it is a gratitude, most definitely, but it's a gratitude expecting nothing in return. Remember that. Paying it forward is a giving away, expecting nothing in return. Years ago, I was at a ministry, and one of our members heard me say that we were wanting to build a playground. And he had been through his own type of spiritual awakening recently. And when I was talking about raising money for the playground, he came through the line and said, "This will pay for the playground." And he took off this Rolex watch. And that particular watch was worth it was worth about $10,000. And literally that one gift paid for the playground. He said, "I may not see you again. I just wanted you to know. I just want to pay it forward. I've gotten so much here and I'm moving and I want to give you this." And so his parting gift was a paying it forward that was so big, it created a playground for kids to play on for years. And it was one gift, and it was something he wore on his arm every day. He said, I won't even be needing this anymore. This means nothing to me anymore. This Rolex it's a fine watch, but it means nothing compared to my spiritual awakening. Isn't that amazing? I had another friend who was going to sell a vehicle, and when the person showed up, she was just guided to give it to him. And of course, they both cried, shared tears and a hug, and a connection was made. A powerful connection was made. Paying it forward brings more good into the world. No doubt. So we talked a little bit about your job. We talked a little bit about family. And what about just paying it forward in the world? Like when you're at the car wash, when you're going through the line at the grocery store, like when you're just living life. So you see, the reason I talk about all these things and the reason I spend so much time on like one concept, like pay it forward, is that I want you to get a feeling overall about what it would be to live like this. So it's not like, okay, oh yeah, I heard this show on Pay It Forward. I'm going to do one good thing and feel good about myself and never do it again. The idea of Pay It Forward is, this is how I live my life. This is how I give myself when I'm in a particular situation. This is how I give myself when I'm at the store. This is how I give of myself when I'm in a relationship. This is how I give of myself when I'm at my work. What I know is that when you give at that level, you are going to be blessed, you are going to be a blessing, and you are going to feel in the flow of life. So why would you not pay it forward? In other words, this is a encouragement. This is a commercial message. This is a spiritual mandate. Let's begin to pay it forward as a way of living. Pay it forward. Growing up, I've been in an interesting practice recently. I have been writing stories from my childhood. And some of the generosity of my parents has just been so beautiful to reflect on as I've grown and aged, that their ability to give and to support all different kinds of people really has come through some of the stories. And friends, I don't think I realized growing up how much that was the case. They gave to people in need. They helped people get jobs. We helped homeless. And frankly, there were times we needed support, but we were still helping other people during those times. And so I realized I had an unusual situation in that my parents were huge givers to others, to our church. And with so many kids, of course, they gave to us a great deal in ways that I think I took for granted growing up. Of course, our family had issues. You've heard about those as well. But the spirit of generosity was throughout. There was always room for one more at the dinner table. There was always, a good laugh for someone. There was always a hug if that was needed. So I've been reflecting on my view on this could be different from others based on the environment I grew up in. So if you've not been around a spirit of generosity, you might feel differently about this topic, and it may be new to you. So that's why I want to spend a great deal of time talking about, I don't just say these things because I think it's a good idea or because I read it in a book. It's because I'm practicing it. So think about, is there any way you could begin to pay it forward in your life and in your work? Is there a way you are being guided to be more of a giver to life and not taking as much? Is there somebody that could use your support, that you could pay it forward by giving them a scholarship or help? Pay it forward. Pay it forward. My hope is that as you begin to practice this, that you're going to tell other people about it. My hope is that as you practice it more, that it's going to become a way of life for you, like for real. It's kind of like how I talk about forgiveness as well. It's like I want you to be so comfortable in paying it forward that this becomes a way of life, that this becomes a way you do life, because you see it brings joy, it brings ease, and frankly, it brings abundance. We started this 4-week series talking about giving. Paying it forward is another way to be a giver to life. It's another way to lift the world up. And we can see as we look around us that the world is in probably more need than ever. And so for us as people of faith, it is incumbent upon us as people of faith to be givers into the world, to be givers into life in this way, by paying it forward, expecting nothing in return. This is a position of spiritual power. It puts you in a position to receive, and it most definitely will make you feel more worthy and more at peace at the level of the soul. Friend, I hope that you know that you are worthy, both to give and receive, that the very goodness that you are is a blessing to the world. My hope is that as you continue to pay it forward, that you will live this presence and live this experience more and more every day. And that as you do, your soul awakens as you are a blessing to the world. So I thank you as always for listening. You always bless me, and we're grateful for the ways you share our message with your friends, with your coworkers on social media. Thank you for being a listener and supporter to the show. And just know we think of you with great gratitude. We pray for you daily for God's highest and best, and send you many, many blessings on the journey, dear friend. And we look forward to seeing you soon.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Authentic Spiritual Journey here on the Experience of the Soul podcast channel. This channel is made possible because of listeners just like you. If you would like to support the channel with your tax-deductible contribution on an ongoing basis or through a one-time gift, head over to experienceofthesoul.com/support. The Authentic Spiritual Journey is copyright 2022, Cynthia Alice Anderson, all rights reserved. Our theme music is composed by Dave Croft and used with permission from RR Hot Publishing. The Experience of the Soul podcast channel is a production of 818 Studios.
Hey friends, Sean here, your Experience of the Soul producer. I want to take a moment to tell you about something truly exciting. The SoulWorks online community, created by your host, Cynthia Alice Anderson, and available on the Mighty Networks app. If you're looking for a place where you can explore your spiritual path, connect with others, and grow in a meaningful way, then this is for you. SoulWorks is so much more than an online community. It's a safe, inclusive space for spiritual exploration, self-discovery, and personal transformation. Inside the community, you'll find everything from uplifting spiritual studies to soul-centered growth practices, meditations, affirmations, and so much more. It's a space where you'll always be supported and never judged. The best part, membership is free. You'll have access to powerful resources, inspiring content, and a supportive group of like-minded people who are all on their own unique spiritual journeys. And if you're ready to dive deeper, there are premium options available to enhance your experience, with a live Monday night talk series and extended, deeper meditations. If you're seeking a place to connect, grow, and nurture your soul, we would love to have you join us in the SoulWorks community and see where this journey can take you. Visit my.soulworkscommunity.com today.